On today's episode, a new Model Y variant with a more efficient battery is revealed in Germany, India is in talks again to become a potential Tesla manufacturing base, and trademarks show signs of life for the Cyberquad. A new version of Tesla's Model Y vehicle has been making European owners happy as it boasts a much quicker charge time than previous versions. But Project Juniper, Tesla's upcoming refresh of the Model Y design, isn't even close to being released yet, so what changed? Well, Tesla is trying out a new lithium iron phosphate battery type, a bladed configuration provided by Chinese automaker BYD. This company makes a popular line of electric vehicles and has been competing with Tesla in the Chinese market. The new battery was released back in 2020, and the Model Y variants equipped with it boast a range of 440 kilometers on a single charge and a consumption of about 15.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. This is extremely close to the current CATL-made LFP cells, which are widely used in Tesla vehicles right now. But the difference is in the efficiency. The bladed design allows for more energy density, the individual blade-shaped cells fitting into an array which maximizes space by as much as 50% more than a more conventional cylindrical battery cell, and owners of the new Model Y have been reporting faster charge times as well. Both batteries begin charging at about 172 kilowatt hours, but the CATL battery can't maintain that rate for very long at all. Both battery types have a charge rate fall-off, which seems to be a safety feature to avoid building up too much heat during the charging process. But the blade design lends itself to better heat management in the individual packs, meaning this design can sustain the high-speed charge rate for longer, reaching all the way up to 50% charge before the system gradually lowers the rate to help the packs cool off. And even better, the bladed configuration also seems to lend BYD's battery an incredible level of safety. Every battery system on the market goes through a series of tests before they can be certified for use. One of the most stringent of those tests is the nail penetration test, which is exactly what it sounds like. The battery is punctured with a nail and the results recorded. The average lithium-ion battery reacts badly to being punctured. The materials being exposed to each other and the air in an uncontrolled way causes a runaway reaction, raising surface temperatures enough to cause explosions and fires. I'm sure we've all seen a video of a Tesla or another electric vehicle that has been in a nasty crash. That sort of a blaze is why most battery packs are very well armored. But BYD's bladed design barely noticed the damage at all, maintaining a stable 30 to 60 degrees Celsius surface temperature. So not only are these batteries the safest LFP design in the world, but their increased density allows it to compete in a market dominated by more expensive cell types like Tesla's 4680. The real driving force behind BYD's success is their battery tech. They jumped on LFP systems and created cheaper vehicles than Tesla could, namely their Seal sedan, which has made them popular enough to compete with Tesla in China at least. But despite this seeming rivalry, Tesla began talks with BYD back in 2021, and by August 2022, it was reported that the Chinese automaker had begun shipping some of their bladed LFP batteries, not to Giga Shanghai, but to Tesla's Gigafactory in Germany. There's been no communication as to why this pilot project isn't being done in China. It would certainly be easier for BYD to ship their batteries the relatively short distance to Giga Shanghai than it would be to ship them across the world to Brandenburg. It could be that the deal between the two companies forced Tesla to experiment outside of China because that's BYD's only market right now, but we just don't know. It is a very good deal for BYD though. Instead of making the financial leap to sell their cars in other markets already dominated by Tesla, they can simply sweep in and unseat CATL as Tesla's primary LFP production partner, and in the process, advertise their cheap and safe battery tech to a much wider market. But that doesn't mean they'll have an easy time pushing CATL out of Tesla's production loop. The battery maker is hard at work on their own new configurations and technological leaps. Their M3P battery, which is currently in development, looks to achieve a cheap LFP-type cell that could boost the Model 3's range to about 700 kilometers, almost doubling the range of BYD's tech. We don't know what's in this new battery yet, but CATL thinks it will keep them on top of the industry. Unfortunately, the European test of these blade-equipped Model Ys has to be put on hold because even though the EU granted permission for Tesla to use BYD's batteries in Europe back in July of 2022, Tesla apparently hadn't registered the new Model Y variant with local authorities in Germany and has been forced to stop deliveries until they fix that. Doing paperwork in the EU has to be hard. All those countries work together on the large scale, but locally require a bunch of different authorizations. But it's a minor hiccup that will be dealt with before too long, and Tesla owners in Europe can get back to enjoying better charge times. It looks like Tesla is ready to try to find a way into the Indian market again after over a year spent cooling down from negotiations that ended around January 2022. On May 16th, Tesla reportedly sent a team of C-suite executives and managers to reopen negotiations. Comments from Indian ministers taking part in the talks reveal that Tesla is looking to make a manufacturing base in the South Asian country, but Tesla itself hasn't commented just yet. So even with the ministerial comments, there's no way of knowing how well those talks are proceeding. But we know that this time Tesla wants to land a deal, not just because Indian officials are saying so, but because they're having this conversation at all. When talks stalled last year, it was because the two sides had reached an impasse. Both of them wanted something that the other couldn't agree to. Namely, Tesla wanted the Indian government to relax their very high import duties so they could test the local market's appetite for their product. Imported EVs with a price tag higher than $40,000 could reportedly face an import duty of as much as 100%. For their part, India was willing to at least lower those fees, provided Tesla would commit to building a factory there before doing so. The stalemate forced the parties to abandon talks in early 2022. On the one hand, you can definitely see where India is coming from. Their job is to bring in business while protecting their markets from potentially predatory foreign companies. If they lowered tariffs and Tesla became popular, there wouldn't be any guarantee that the company would stick around, and in early 2022, the Indian government could be forgiven for thinking Tesla was just trying to get a foot in the door rather than wanting to actually invest in India. Last year was full of reports of Tesla executives meeting governments across the world. Rumors of new facilities being discussed in Indonesia, Canada, and Mexico were very public, and Tesla did eventually choose Mexico for its new gigafactory. But Tesla's vehicles certainly wouldn't be as popular if they were double the price either. A 100% tariff hanging over a company's head is more than unreasonable when trying to negotiate for a new partnership. That said, Tesla returning to the table tells us something crucial. They want India. Centrally located in Asia with a decent trade infrastructure and a large population, India is an ideal manufacturing base to spread Tesla's cars across South Asia. So ideal that they're willing to give talks another shot rather than just calling up Indonesia, for instance, and accepting their offers. But even if these talks go well, Tesla has another problem. Climate change is quickly making India uninhabitable. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has given some dire warnings about the livability in places like India inside the next couple of decades. Last year alone, more than 5,000 people died due to intense heat waves across India, with temperatures reaching as high as 50 degrees Celsius. That being said, this could be a unique opportunity for Tesla to help. Like in other places the company sets up shop, Tesla could decide to strengthen the local power grids. They did this in California and Texas, and they've hinted at doing the same in Mexico. All of these locations benefit from a huge Tesla Megapack facility, and yes, most of that power goes to the factories there, but in a country like India, it would make a lot of sense for Tesla to invest in supporting local communities so people could live where the company intends to hire their workers and sell their vehicles. Hopefully, the two parties are able to come to an agreement that makes everyone satisfied, but if they can't, Tesla isn't exactly suffering for lack of choice in South Asia. Fuel the content you love with the Tesla Space and Space Race store. The store will be live on Sunday, May 28th, but here's how you can get exclusive early access and discount codes. All you've got to do is visit shop.theteslaspace.com or click the link in the description and sign up with your email. On Saturday, May 27th, you'll receive an email with your one-time discount code and a password to access the site before everyone else. So don't miss out. Head over to shop.theteslaspace.com now to reserve your spot. It looks like the Cyberquad, Tesla's angular Cybertruck-themed ATV, has a pulse. On May 9th, Tesla filed for a fresh trademark for the name, meaning that at the very least, the company wants to keep the option of producing the ATV a possibility. The all-terrain vehicle was designed to be an upgrade option for Cybertruck buyers and was unveiled during the Cybertruck announcement event in 2020, where it was used to show off the size of Cybertruck's bed. The two-person vehicle was intended to be marketed right away, but the company ended up having other priorities in the early days of the pandemic, and so the Cyberquad was shelved, except for a limited run of Cyberquad for kids made with toy company Radio Flyer, the company that makes those iconic red wagons. Now, this trademark could be just standard practice. Trademarks need to be reapplied every so often to keep control over product names, but the original trademark for the Cyberquad reportedly lapsed last year, so the timing here seems to be hinting that Tesla is about to do something with their ATV. Tesla did reveal that they had an entire team for making Cybertruck peripherals at the Investor Day event back in March, and the ATV would definitely count. Not to mention that with the Cybertruck's production about to come online, now would be a great time to use a vehicle that's relatively easy to produce to keep up the excitement needed to sell the company's new truck. Ultimately, applying for a trademark doesn't mean anything more than a company wanting to own a name. Tesla could just be future-proofing here, but the timing is too good to ignore. What Cybertruck owner wouldn't want a matching ATV after all? Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it. That is so important for getting our content out to more people. If you enjoy the content, then you'd probably also enjoy our weekly newsletter, so sign up with the link down below at theteslaspace.com. A huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who are listed on the screen now. You help us make the best content we can, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.